Good afternoon, everyone. I, Alisha Lalani, the coordinator of Industry Institute Interface Committee, welcome you all for today's webinar. As a part of Students' Development Activities and Corporate Connect, IMDR continuously organizes seminars by various renowned industry experts. Today, amongst us, we have Dr. Ujjal Bhattacharjee as a guest of the day. Dr. Bhattacharjee is currently working with Foseco India Limited, part of Visuvis PLC, as HR Director India and Southeast Asia and member of the board and Executive Director. Prior to joining Foseco, he had worked with GKN PLC UK as VP Operations, Managing Director and HR Director. During the stint with GKN, he was responsible for P&L and have overall charge of all India business operations. Dr. Bhattacharjee has extensive global experience, especially in Asia, Europe, and South Africa, and has undertaken large-scale organization transformations. Dr. Bhattacharjee has completed his Bachelor of Science, Masters in Personal Management, Diploma in Training and Development, Diploma in Training, Labor Laws and Welfare, Strategic Management, and PhD in Management. ISB Kellogg Global Advanced Management Program. Dr. Bhattacharjee has extensive experience in areas like competency-based HR practices, leadership development, organizational change management, talent management, and industrial relations. Sir has also published several papers in reputed management journals and a keynote speaker at several business schools and leadership forums. I feel privileged to get this opportunity to introduce a speaker of his stature. On a final note, sir, we are very grateful for your presence amongst us today. Without any further addition, I would request sir to take over and share his thoughts with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Anisha, for introduction. Nice introduction. And also, I thank everyone for this invitation, and also feel honored to speak to the students, the budding leaders of the nation. As the topic of today is around pandemic, and I'm going to show my presentation. 1 minute.
Good afternoon, sir. First of all, thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session. I had a question. What are the challenges faced by current HR personals, before if we consider about pre-COVID times? So it was kind of easy to judge a person and to analyze a person because he was right in front of you. But how far the challenges are being there are challenges in judging a person whether he is fit for the company or not through online mode or through telephonic interview basis or
This is, are you talking about the interview selection of a person?
yes sir, yes sir,
Online selections.
yes sir.
Okay. See, there is no alternative, in my opinion, of human to human, assessment. No alternative. But looking at the constraint, when you have to deal with this unknown enemy, and in this pandemic, it was a need of the hour to adapt to this technology based hiring for some time, when absolutely no face to face meeting and interaction was possible. Yes, it has a challenge of its own, but up to a great extent, which like this time, the if you see the practicality, the hiring activities and the employee selection was also very less actually. In fact, you means very few companies in fact were hiring. If anybody hiring 50 people, they reduce to very few, maybe one or two. And just because companies were not running, there was no volume. People actually were talking for uh, trimming down the manpower. Forget about hiring. Still today, hiring is not the on the top agenda of a company. Still, it is picking up as the economy is picking up, and people are doing in a very cautious manner. So during pandemic, when it was on peak, at least 5, 6 months, 7 months from March onwards, no face-to-face meeting. So certainly it was a challenge. Whatever hiring happened, but the nature of hiring happened also. It's very in a very junior level, the working level, the plant level, etc. Like we were not hiring senior managers, general managers. These hirings were all stopped completely. What hiring happened is just to ensure that if somebody like our production executive leaving, so I have to have a production executive in the plant. Without that, I cannot run. Or the shift supervisors, example, or production manager, those kind of. And the positions were all kept on hold. The hiring was frozen completely during this period of time. After December, we have opened up. And if you speak to other people, to your friends or your some contacts, you will find that there was no hiring. In fact, all company has frozen their hiring plan. It's all opening up from January onwards, but after looking that economy is again bouncing back and business activity, commercial activities are starting. What we have done is after January, most of the interviews we are doing online, but at least one face-to-face meeting we are doing after January. So like there are 3 rounds or 2 rounds or minimum 2 rounds. Example, the first round will be all virtual, shortlisting, etc. Everything happens. The final round, the person should come and meet. And suppose somebody is in Chennai, like I'm giving you a practical uh, understanding. Chennai. So in Chennai, I have a senior manager. If the position is he can interview technically, he or she, we are asking the person to do the to meet the person face to face. Interviewed by, suppose I interview or my other colleagues interviewing, functional heads are interviewing, and but we'll ask one of our senior manager who's supposed to, who can take the interview, like a senior most person in that particular region. The person can go travel and meet somewhere and have a face-to-face interaction. In face-to-face interaction, you actually can see much more dimensions, and you can understand the overall personality, etc., much more in deeper. So certainly it is not replaced, and more when things get normalized, we'll return back to the normal.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Amlan Dasgupta and I'm a student of PGDM 1. Sir, so after the COVID times, I was reading there was an upsurge in the field of HR analytics. So, sir, I just wanted to ask what skill sets would be required to be a good fit in the field of HR analytics?
See, a skill set, basically you have to be your analytical ability and your interest towards analytics. That's very important. Your own analytical, your own understanding and interest level towards that will be very important. And your what we call analytical ability as a competency uh, has to be has to be there, and you should have the interest and uh, passion to do that. Because if you are not so keen, then you will feel why I'm getting into it. Some part of analytics anyway in HR we have to do, but if it is a completely end-to-end HR analytics, then it's for dealing with data, dealing with numbers, trend analysis, all those stuff. Yeah. So if you have those interest, those kind of interest and ability to work with numbers, and you love analyzing things, uh, then those kind of kind of things, inbuilt things will be always helpful. That if you, and then you get the required knowledge. What are the areas, how you can do it? Suppose you do a course for nature analytics, that then helps you, and actually then that gives you much more insight about what need to be done.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Shamika Bhan from the year two, and
Hi.
I have a question. So, sir, you mentioned that there were virtual training programs for your employees as well. So, my question is, how did you do the mapping of those virtual training programs? I mean, assess the effectiveness of those training programs on your employees.
Yeah, so we have online, those kind of assessment tools after the training. We have given them, and then again, everything is digitalized. So the assessment tool, after the training, every training has a calibration, every training has a assessment after post training, and those things has been used actually without meeting personally, etc. The rating sheets, the assessment sheets were all circulated digitally, and we have those platform available.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you, Alicia. Thank you, sir, for the such a wonderful
Hi.
session.
Thank you.
My name is Kunj Trivedi from PGDM1. Sir, I wanted to ask that as we are specifically talking about pandemic, the initial stage of pandemic when we started working from home, everyone was lacking in the motivation and all. And at that time, HR used to be the person who used to do these things in once in a week, that he or she used to do something good or something that will cheer the employees in a good manner or something like that. So my question is that if HR is motivating others and everything, how did they how did they deal with this situation? Means?
If I understood your question, that you are talking about HR own motivation. You are talking about HR team's own
Yes,
motivation.
yes,
Who
sir,
motivates
yes, sir.
HR? Who motivates HR?
Sir, in the specifically pandemic time.
Yeah. So, but who motivates HR? That is what you were saying.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So it's all about the self motivation actually. Okay. If you love to do it, so if you have selected a profession, suppose either HR, marketing, finance, or anything, if you have selected this profession by your sheer passion and by choice, okay, that then you are in a and you are enjoying that, you don't need any kind of extra capsule or booster to do anything, because you by design you you are supposed to do that. And in my opinion, anything we don't do to for any kind of a return, you know, that we get a return or somebody motivates us. It's absolutely self motivation, and in this also the HR leader is very important, that how he or she motivates the team, the soldiers, to do that and keep everybody agile. Okay, and tell them what is the goal. Like I will tell you that during pandemic it was completely new for all of us. This situation we never come across in our lifetime, and we had very different uh, serious situations in last year. But when you lead from the front, I don't want to go to the in details and nitty-gritties. It was quite scary at some days, but our team have never thought about all these things, and they have acted on certain matters, which is completely a bravery, and they just did it. even it is required for the organization, keeping organization in mind. So that's extremely important, that when you it's a like army, when our soldiers are there in the border, and it is a duty, we have to ensure that it is happening. That duty bound approach is very important. Anything you do, either you are in if any profession, the duty bound approach, the goal and determination, that what is in front of us every day and night, we think about all those things. As I talked about business again, I can't speak so much in public at this moment, but in details, but so many things has been done in order to ensure that the business is not suffered, people are not suffered, and we are complying with all the guidelines, and everybody has given their best. And it's of course at the end of the day, it all helps to the nation. And after the pandemic, so we all have a bigger sense of responsibility beyond the company, that if we all do well, we will ensure our employees and their families' livelihoods are ensured. That was a kind of a energy, that talking about the booster, how who motivates. This is what is motivating. We ensure that we do such a work and such a kind of a contribution to the company, that not a single person lose their job, and everybody bounce back when the business is good, and that
Yes,
there
sir.
you get
True,
the
sir.
energy. Yeah, there you get the
Yes,
energy.
sir. Yes, sir.
Why our soldiers are standing on the snow and they're still not moving a single inch? Motivation is from where? There is a big sense of nationalism, patriotism.
Yes, sir. True. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. I am Diganta Chakraborty. Sir,
Right?
I just want, yes, sir, I have a question. That is, post-COVID, we have seen that there has been rampant layoffs and salary cuts. So I just want to ask how difficult it has been being a HR professional, and what are the mental strategies, or how has been the change in the mindset of a professional as per your experience?
Yeah. So this time, as I said, that any if you tomorrow you are going to also get into an industry, for any leader, you have to listen to your inner voice first of all, and you need to know what is required for the company, what is required for people. Is salary cut is required, mandatory, or or layoffs are required or mandatory? Everybody debated. A lot of people have talked about. Our job as a leader is to find the solution and not get bogged down with saying that, yeah, because X company is doing, Y company, it's we have to also do it. No, we have to look at our financial positions, we have to look at everything in a holistic perspective, and also see the people perspective. If anything is required, everybody will come forward. But if something is not required and we just do it for the sake of making some few additional pennies, it is an incorrect process. It is incorrect things to do. It is not in the line of the right value system. So as a leader, you should have the courage to stand up and say, no, it is not required. And exactly that is what, if you're asking about our company, I have very clearly mentioned it is not required. And if it is required, it should be discussed if it is required at all. And we are all sinking, like everything is getting collapsed. Then we will see whether it is required or not. Otherwise, not at all. Even if there were some rooms were there from the technical or from the legal perspective to do something, get some benefits, but not paying people. like some of the temporaries, casuals, etc. Some windows given, some relaxation given. We said nothing doing. People have to get the money this time because there is nothing at this moment. No, there is a huge expenditure. You know what happened last year. And if people are sitting home and no money, and the kind of people down the line, how much they earn, and if that, when we don't take a human approach and just go for a cut, is it that necessary? Creating another problem or finding out a solution? I also led in industry body a lot of discussion saying that find out a solution, that how can we support the people, those who are working in a unorganized sector, unorganized labor, how we should ensure their protection, how we ensure that the confidence and confirmation that everything is all perfect, everything will be all right, stay together and have the patience. You must have heard as a business student that many companies have gone ahead with these things, and they are having some different experience afterwards when the good time is back. Understand? So
Yes, sir.
it's
Yes.
important. It is important that staying with employees, staying with people in bad times is a responsibility, and not taking hurry decision, which is inhuman, which is incorrect, impolite, unemotional, because these things are not something which is sustainable. And that's what we have to do as a professionals. We are in HR or any other field. We have to have that kind of empathy, which I talked about in my presentation. Empathy. That is why you wanted to say what is empathy. Is this actually empathize when people earn
Exactly, sir.
10,000 rupees in a month? If you don't pay that 10,000 rupees in a month, then what will happen? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Good
Yeah.
afternoon, sir. I'm Amol Palve. First of all, thank you so much for such a wonderful session. So my question is, was there any modification in HR policies when the workforce shifted to the virtual mode, sir?
No, actually, policy means in terms of the physical presence, all policies remain same. Yeah, we haven't done any policy change, as I told you. It was not required. Policy change in terms of only flexibility, that if you are required in the company, you need to come. Otherwise, stay away, because we need to ensure the safety, because if more people are inside. So we have not looked at the attendance system, which is as per the policy. If you don't come so and so date, you have to apply for a leave and this and that. We remain flexible actually. Not even ask people to apply work from home with a digitized system, because you have to trust employees. And this time that was the need of the hour. Still today, we're not forcing anything. If there is a job, if you feel there is a work, you just go and work. If you can stay away, last 2 months we have relaxed a little bit. Now again, after recent all this surge in COVID cases, we are again asking people that now stay away a little bit, and then probably we will just watch this week, next week even ask people further staying away.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So even I have a question. So when the normal situation returns, will this pandemic experience guide the organizations in their usual HR approach towards the employees?
Yes, of course. This is the pandemic related approaches are going to definitely uh, tell us something to do differently. Like many companies are now thinking, many HR professionals are thinking, organizations are thinking that what can be done differently after taking, and we need to take all the good learnings out of it, and those things will be definitely implemented. Like example, reaching out to large number of people in a mass scale with the help of a virtual medium, reaching out to customers in a large scale. It is not possible otherwise. In 1 month, talking to 500 customers is not possible otherwise. But this time we have learned it in terms of attendance, in terms of training and development, and these areas. Lot of things will be picked up from here. The good things, good examples, which never companies have tried or we have tried, which will be all experimented. And that is the right thing to do, because once you when you have a new situation, when you have new experiences, it has pros and cons. Some of the good things which you see during this period, which has actually opened your eyes in many areas which we have never explored in a normal situation, and that's how we call it a new normal. Now many questions are arising that whether all the employees need to go to corporate office every day, or they can just go 3 days, 4 days in a week and save their energy in traveling time, etc., etc. Like a lot of people, those who have desktops, they've been given laptops, so they're much more effective. They can work from home and still contribute, which earlier was not a normal situation. But this time, this pandemic has pushed us towards that direction, and it's working very well, in fact. So a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
new experiments will be done during the future years. How virtual team works together, how it is effective. We are all seeing that, and we have noticed that, and still experimenting. Health and safety.
Uh, it's my privilege and an honor to offer the vote of thanks in this occasion. I, Diganta Chakraborty, on behalf of Deccan Education Society, IMDR, would like to convey my sincere gratitude to one of the most influential HR leaders in our country and a veteran in this field, Dr. Ujjal Bhattacharjee, for giving us time and inspiring us on the topic of human resources management. Sir, your experiences have been really inspiring. You mentioned about the challenges that the HR industry undertook post-COVID, such as ensuring the mental and physical well-being of employees and maintaining employee engagement, productivity, and effectiveness. So you also talked about the initiatives undertaken, such as digitalizing the HR process for greater efficiency and the insights to handle the situation, such as ensuring transparency in communication and seeking and offering help with some empathy and flexibility. So thank you, sir. This piece of information is really helpful for our future corporate endeavor. Now, I would also like to thank our director, ma'am, the faculty, the non-teaching staff for constantly encouraging and supporting us in respect of such corporate connect. I thank the entire student organizing team, the technical support, and last but not the least, all my student colleagues, without whom this session wouldn't have been successful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Diganta. Thank you, Alicia. Very nicely organized, and I must say that I was very much impressed with the questions you all have asked. Quite very insightful. I was not expecting such a nice, fantastic set of questions. I have also learned quite a lot of things. Got an opportunity to discuss with all of you these topics, and it is like a recap of some of the things which we have done. So with these kind of talk and discussions, it was more like sharing the experience and the practices. I'm sure this will become helpful for you to think and reflect upon. And very disciplined students. I saw, many webinars I have attended and speaking in last almost, especially webinars, but very well managed, well maintained, fantastic questions. I wish all of you a fantastic career and fantastic year ahead. Stay safe, stay healthy. That's very important, and take care. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Shruti here, sir. Thank you so much for today's thought-provoking and interesting session. Session was indeed enriching, sir. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and rich experience with our students. We would like to thank you for answering variety of questions so meticulously, sir. Thank you so much. It was indeed a great experience for us also. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much once again. Bye.